Welcome to the Transformation Podcast. I'm your host, GENETT, GEUS, and this is a space where we explore the practices, people, and ideas that invite us to shift, to grow, to awaken, and to live with more depth and meaning. And today I'm sitting with AJ, Ananda-Jey.
Hello, good
He's
afternoon.
The founder of the Ultimate Darkness Retreat and a spiritual counselor. Imagine spending 4 days in complete darkness. No distractions, no screens, no light at all. Just you, your mind, and the vast mystery of consciousness. For many, this sounds terrifying, but for others, it's the doorway to profound transformation. And that's why I invited AJ here. And let's just dive in. So, AJ.
Absolutely.
Happy that you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. How did you first encounter darkness as a pathway to transformation? What was your road to the darkness?
I didn't know that, that will be a path to transformation. I just saw it. I just saw this opportunity. Frankly speaking, I saw it on Instagram.
Yes. For real?
Yeah, I have never heard about it.
When was this?
It was back in 2002. And I saw it, and instantly I wanted to go there. So that's what I did. I went to US, to Oregon, and I did my retreat. And, for me, it was just another retreat, just another thing I wanted to do. I was obsessed by the mind. I had a glimpse of stillness before that. But, I was driven by my mind.
And what kind of experience did you have prior then, before the darkness?
So actually I went with Wim, we just spoke today about Wim. And
Wim Hof, is that?
Wim Hof, yes. And, I was with him on the retreats, and then we were in Poland, and, we were in quite extreme situation, me and a couple of other guys in the river, in the mountains of Poland in the middle of winter in January. And towards the end, suddenly my mind stopped for a while, I could see everything and I could hear everything. Even the bird passing and the leaf moving, and the breath of someone who was next to me, but I was not thinking. And then, we went out. Of course, it was, very extreme. And from that, I always was chasing this. I wanted to be present, but without the thoughts. But it was not possible, of course, And I started meditating for long hours, seeing and chasing gurus, and nothing worked really, breathing, and it was all great, don't misunderstand me. It was wonderful, but still I couldn't get the state where I'm not thinking, I could observe my thoughts, but the mind was going. So when you are going with the mind always wants more. For the mind, the present moment is sort of unbearable, but definitely not interesting.
Very unbearable.
It's always something out there, that I wanted to have. So you can imagine men like that, from the outside, I had everything, I had money, I had position, I had, women, and family and this and that. And it was not enough, you see. Deep inside, I was deeply dissatisfied. I was not happy. So whatever was out there, I would get that. I would get that to feel better. I believed in this, that many of us right now are still stuck in it. I was stuck in this becoming better version of myself, so much. So I thought, this darkness retreat would be something that would make me better, or that I will be just more experienced. Before that, I also did. So I didn't only wanted to be Iceman, I also wanted to be Ironman. So I did 7 Ironman, 20
Ironmans?
Yeah, 20 kilo ago, 20 kilo ago, I was just torturing myself. Of course, 1 Ironman was not enough for me, because, then I wanted to be better on the bike or better in the water and this and that. So, yeah. When I got in Oregon, I came for another challenge.
Mm. And what did the darkness teach you? What did the challenge teach you?
Listen, it was a challenge just for a little while, and it transformed my life totally. I awakened in the darkness. So when I got out, everything changed in my life. I mean, from the outside, maybe, so everything unimportant changed, and what matters didn't change. But definitely my perspective changed. And I encountered silence in the darkness, which never left me. And this brings immense joy and peace of mind. And I can enter it anytime I want to. And people say, AJ, what does it mean, this awakening shit, you're talking about? And it's very simple, for those people who don't want to go into this, topic of spirituality, I simply tell them that I can stop thinking whenever I want.
How many days was your own, or how long period did you go?
It was not too long, actually. I went for 4 days. So I came in on Monday and got out on Friday.
And I'm asking this also because that's nice for the people listening. I did one of your retreats. I stayed also for 4 days. And I couldn't get to that point of not thinking. So I'm very curious what did you do? Or was it your intention also that was something that you wanted to experience?
Well, I was so terrified by the darkness. I did, for me it was quite challenging, thinking that I will be, in complete darkness and silence for a couple of days. Yes, I wanted to see if maybe my mind, will stop like it stopped in the cold before, years before that. So maybe in a way, it was my intention, but it all surprised me, you see. I mean, everyone who wants something from the darkness typically won't receive that.
Maybe this is a nice segue into telling a little bit about my experience, because this is exactly what happened to me. And after that, I want to go back because I'm very curious to hear how your life changed after your own experience. So I went for 4 days, and I had a friend of mine that went right before me, and he texted me immediately after he came out, like, Jeanette, you should put this on your to-do list, because, we read spiritual texts and we learn about love. And I read it, and now I really understand it. I really understand. I really feel it to the core, like this universal love on a scale that I've never, ever imagined before. I'm like, wow. So, and I have a meditation practice, and I had little glimpse of little touches, little pinpoints of vastness, emptiness, stillness. So I'm like, oh, wow, this is what darkness does. Okay, I know how to meditate. I know. I'm just going to come in for 4 days, sit there, find peace and quiet, meditate, touch God, see God, find bliss, consciousness. And then I will come out and I will be rejuvenated and happy and joyed. Let me tell you, that is not what happened to me in the darkness. I did not find bliss. I found stillness, and I had beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moments. But the first 3 days, I was very like, okay, this is a waste of money. What am I doing? What am I doing? I cannot keep quiet. There's no joy. There's no bliss. There's a lot of sleeping and sitting. But I'm like, yeah, nothing is happening. And that's exactly what I told my counselor, because every day when they bring the food, they let you, there's a moment where you can communicate and share. So I asked her, well, nothing is happening. And she said very wisely, can you accept that this is your experience? That nothing is happening?
Wow.
And can you just be with that? And have compassion for that? I'm like,
Ooh.
Yeah, it stopped me in my tracks.
Yeah.
And the whole day, the day after that, that was the only thing I did. Just sitting, like, okay, can I just sit with what is?
Yes.
Can I just accept this? Can I do less? Yeah, I can do less. I can do less. I can just sit here. I can just be. That was my practice for the remaining time in the dark, sitting with what is and having compassion for myself with what is.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful, really, really transformative, and in a way changed me. But I also find it quite difficult to keep that in my daily life now. So I'm asking, like, how did your life change? What I do see is that lesson of being with what is and accepting what is, maybe not daily, but every couple of days, I would see it like, hey, this is that lesson again. Yeah. I would become impatient, or something would be happening, like, hey, again, stop haunting me. So much to be practiced still. So how did you do that? What changed for you when you came out?
So, in the darkness, my mind stopped, you see. So when I got out, of course, the mind picks up. When you allow for that, the daily stuff happens. And you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So, when I was in the dark, it started, first I was super bored. Super bored. Then I was obsessed by, if my son has that number of the guy who organized retreat or not, and this and that, what is happening out there. And then suddenly, I had this, I had this memory coming. And it's like, we met today, you exactly remember we had a little lunch before this podcast. And if I say a little lunch before, you see so much. You see me, you see my future wife, we talked in the building. This is the memory. So I had something, what has happened to me, but I digged it so deep that if you would ask me if it happened, I would always say, no, I didn't remember that. I never said this to anyone. But when it came, I instantly knew it happened. I recognized the room, I recognized the people. So I was badly abused as a little boy. And I had no doubts it happened, even though I didn't remember that. And then I started to cry so much, you see. And I was so devastated by that. So I was so sorry of this little boy and so angry for the adults, And I just laid on the floor in this darkness, crying, this going through me, and to the exhaustion, really, no one to speak to, you know, in this dark room. And this was so vivid. And then I went to bed. And, you know, I wanted to fall asleep, and I fell asleep, but I thought I haven't. So it was calling, something was calling, you know, and it was calling and saying, Ananda-Jey, you know, and I was, here I am, I'm here. And then Ananda-Jey, he says, he's calling me here. So yeah, I'm here. And then Ananda-Jey for the third time. And then I woke up. It was a dream. It was not me who am saying I am. I said, what a strange dream is that? Ananda, what is this Ananda? So I never heard this name before, and, you know, and I said, you know, my name is Wojciech. Why am I? And it felt so real. So then I washed myself, I sat at the meditation, and suddenly, again, bang, you know, this memory came to me. And I looked at that and I said, wait a second. Who is playing that? I really asked myself that. It happened 40 years ago, you know, more than 40 years ago. And there's this little boy, it's not existing. Half of these adults are dead. Who is really playing that? Where it comes from? It never came. And then I asked myself, and who is the one who sees this? Who is the seer? And then my mind stopped. And I got the light into my right side, you know, like a pink light all over, you know, I looked, that was so. And then I saw myself sitting. I saw myself sitting out there, and I remember I said, fuck, I died. I said in Polish, kurwa, umarłem. I was sure I was dead, because I saw my cities. I saw this. And I saw the light on my face from the other side. And from that, it was just a bliss. And I was so happy. Then I went back to my body. And then, you know, just heard knocking, you know. Then the mind picked up. I stood up. The guy said, hey, how are you? It was the guy who brought me food, you know, Scott, who was running the retreat in US. He said, how are you? I said, wonderful. You know, it was the second time he came. And I remember, you know, I just wanted to take the food and go back into this, you know. So all good, all good. So, you know, I washed, you know, like prepared myself, you know, went to the bathroom and sat. And it did zero effort. I just sat there and it was back there. Wow. So beautiful. And then again, knocking. Hey, how are you? I said, and I remember I just, and said, hey, Scott, have you forgotten something? He said, no, it's the next day. And I was like, what? For me, it felt like 3 minutes. You know, since I sat, maybe 10 minutes since he left, you know, I really quickly washed, sat down. And then I knew something profound happened. I already knew that. And I went to bed. Later, you know, I ate, and I had this another dream where people are coming and I'm sitting and I'm presenting myself. My name is Ananda-Jey. Welcome to Satsang. And then I woke up again. I said, whoa, you know, I have goosebumps when I speak about it. It was incredible. And I said, wow, what is this name? So when I got out, you know, I went to San Francisco where my, you know, fiancée Kinga was. And I remember we were sitting in the taxi. I said, listen, I had this strange name, Ananda. Let's Google what it means, you know. And she took the phone and she Googled Ananda. And she said, wow, it's you. It's bliss and happiness and joy. It's you. You laugh all the time. And I say, so what is this J thing, you know? And she Googled and she said, it's a victory. It's a victory of bliss and happiness. So, yeah.
Were you at any point scared also when you had this revisiting of this memory? I can imagine it can also feel like traumatizing in a way, or you didn't know. You knew when you saw it, you knew it was real, but
it was really horrible. You know, it is. I think I experienced what the mind can do to you if you allow for that. So if now, after those years, I should interpret what has happened, it was just a peak of my unconsciousness, you see. Because now when I speak about it, it doesn't do anything to me. It's just a story.
yeah.
You know, it's not existing anymore. And I can talk about John Rambo. You know John Rambo? Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah.
It's the same as about this.
Okay.
Understand?
Yeah.
It's the same time. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's only your mental attachment to this, you know, and the story and identification with that is creating the suffering, the pain. And my pain was tremendous. You wouldn't imagine how I felt. I felt so bad. I felt so horrible. But it was all stemming from the mind. It was just a memory. It was not existing. And then in the darkness, I came to realization, you know, it was just revealed that the life is only now. This is what is.
Yeah. Is that something you hear more people experience in the darkness? Or what is like common themes that people experience? Because for the last, how long are you guiding people in the dark now?
It's 1 year right now. Yeah, I started in August last year, where we're doing the darkness retreat in Poland. And before, of course, I started to teach slowly. And so it's I'm in the second year of teaching, but we do darkness already 1 year. And since January, we have 5 cabins, full program.
Yeah.
So, you know, for majority of people, it's the same. They see what the mind is. You know, not everyone awakens. They always say, you say, anyone can awaken at any time, but why so many unconscious people around?
And what is, you said it again, but what is awakening to you? Or what?
It's the simple state of no thinking, of not thinking of anything, and being in peace with that. So you can also call it the sense of understanding that nothing is important.
Yeah.
You can also call it the state where you cannot get offended.
Or hurt.
Or hurt, you see?
Yeah.
It's just the mind. It doesn't mean that you will not witness something, you know? So everyone, you know, even from those big, wonderful, awakened beings that we have no doubt they were awake, you know, they had a moment when they saw something that they reacted, but then they went back into peace instantly and never come back to it. You know, when Jesus went into synagogue, he started throwing, you know, all the tables. It was violent. He was even physical towards people, wasn't it? Yes, that is according to the Bible. And then you can call many stories. So yes, that's when the mind comes. So when people are in the darkness, they can see that. I'm sitting in a comfortable space. I'm well fed. The food is, we try to do the food good. The food is quite good.
It's excellent.
Everything is comfortable. I have comfortable bed and cold and warm shower as I want. But I'm agitated.
Yeah.
I'm agitated, you know. And some of them, they see this disease of not enough. It's not enoughness that they suffer from. And if they go into the past, you know, they start to see that some of the stories they repeated, they already talked about these stories with themselves and with others, if you know what I mean, you know. So grown-up men, mature or mature woman is sitting in the darkness and suddenly she's talking in her head to herself about when she was, 14 and she did this to me and he did to me and parents divorce and this and that. So I always tell them, think about, and it's really dramatic for them. They suffer. I believe they suffer because it's the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell them, think about pizza. They think about pizza. I said, imagine pizza. You see pizza in your mind? Yes, I see pizza. Are you a pizza? No. If you see something, you're not that, isn't it? If I see something in my mind, if I can think about something, I'm not this thought. Definitely.
Mm.
Okay?
No, you're the one having the thought. You are not the thought.
Yeah, it's just a thought. Pizza. Round, in a square box, cut in triangle, isn't it? It's just pizza.
Some pepperoni cheese, yeah.
Thought about pizza. It's not here. We think it, we talk about it. It's just a thought. But when I say, you and your divorce, it suddenly, instantly becomes part of your identity.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want me to talk about your divorce now. Isn't it? We can talk about pizza, but not your divorce.
Yeah.
Because this divorce, it has something very special. It's mine.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my story. And that's the attachment.
Yeah.
So they can see, when you are in the darkness, you can see your attachments to your own story.
Yeah.
And some people start to ask the question, why am I thinking about that? Or who is thinking about that?
Yeah.
And if you ask a question, who is thinking about that in a broader spectrum, who am I? This is an essence of self-inquiry.
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned you had because when I think about self-inquiry, I think about Ramana Maharishi. Maharishi, sorry. Was his main message or method of teaching. Who am I? Asking that in meditative space. And you mentioned before the podcast you have a connection with him.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So, before darkness, I had a dream. There was, someone came to me. I had a face in front of me. And the man was just looking at me. And, it was happening many times during my sleep, all over and over again. It was quite, disturbing. All over and again, you see someone just looking at you. Very peaceful, wonderful eyes and wonderful look, but kind of strange, you see. So I was really like... And a friend of mine said, at the time, this name AJ didn't exist, which is shortened of Ananda-Jey. So he said, Wojciech, you're such a spiritual guy. You're saying, you should listen to Papaji, I said, Papa what? So I said, listen, or read his book, I don't know. I said, listen, okay, show me on YouTube right now. Just show me. I will tell you if I like it or not. So he starts YouTube. There is a Papaji, speaking. And I look at this and I say,
that's him.
I know this guy. He said, what do you mean you know this guy? I said, I know this guy. And behind Papaji, there was a big painting of Ramana Maharishi on the wall. He said, you know Papaji? I said, nah, not this guy. The guy behind him on the poster, I know this guy. He said, how can you know him? He died, I don't know, 50, maybe 100 years ago. I said, I know him. He comes to my dream. Fucker. I said, all the time he's staring at me. He said, what? I said, yes. He's said, he's coming and you see him looking at you? I said, yes. He said, wow, many people would love that so much. He was a very famous saint, and he was transforming a piece in the world, you know, through his presence. I said, fair enough. And then it ended, and, you know, I didn't like Papaji very much teaching. I didn't understand this, so it went away too. But then I come back to it, and that was my connection. I have, you know, a picture of Ramana in my office, everywhere I am. But I have never read anything here, you know, and none of his books or, you know, his interviews. So all people ask me, did you read Ramana? And this, I said, but you speak exactly as he did me. I said, listen, I promise. And, you know, I have all my weaknesses and I have never read anything. So a couple of months ago, I said, okay, maybe I will, when I'm travel, I will listen a little bit. And I downloaded on YouTube some of his, you know, there was like a question and answers to Ramana, which someone just recorded, because at the time when he lived, YouTube didn't exist. But I just switched off after 2 or 3. It found so familiar, and yeah.
Wow.
That was it.
Yeah, like the guy said, I think there's a lot of people that would love if he would visit in your dreams. Yeah. Yeah, I have a picture of him here.
It's behind you. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. And people also in the retreat ask, like, why put pictures on the wall? Why do you look at them? It's just a reminder. They remind us to be in a certain state. They're like a living example of no mind.
Yes.
And a picture, you can see it in the picture.
Oh, yeah, I really love, many people, I really love to have picture of Ramana. Yeah. You know, for me, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And, you know, they all with us. You know, when the master is leaving his body, it doesn't mean he's not alive. He's there whenever you remind him. But, yeah, it's beautiful to look at him. Yeah. For me, it's like, you know, someone that you really like, really love, you know.
Even though you've never met him, or, you
know, it's very, so if they say, I say yes.
You met him in your dreams. So
yes, you know, I don't feel disconnected. I don't feel strange to him. I know what some people may think about it, but I totally don't care about it.
Yeah, and doesn't matter, because it's just you in your present moment.
Yes,
also.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And did that, so what can you, on a more practical level, like how did your life then change after these transformations?
So first, you know, my first months were not easy for me, because I went back to my work, to my regular life. I was a lawyer, leading very big law firm in Poland, you know, almost 300 people, you know, more than 250 lawyers working for me and my partner, Piotr. And then I had investment firm as well in Switzerland. So it was very difficult, very challenging, because most of the stuff I did didn't resonate with me anymore. So it was a lot of mind structures that they didn't fit in. Mm-hmm. They sound ridiculous.
Yeah. And you just left it all.
Yeah.
Then.
So, of course, for the first, I thought I went crazy, to be honest. I was really not so sure about my mental state, because, you know, this is what I understood, I saw, I felt. And this is what my mind was saying, or was going through my mind, through my mouth, you know. And I would say, I don't know, you know, I hate when people are late, or I hate when people are professional. I hate unprofessional people. And then I would have to correct myself, you know, 5-10 minutes later. I say, listen, guys, I just said I hate unprofessional people, but in fact, I really love them. I love everyone. I just said that. And they would look at me like,
what is happening
with this guy? So it would be all the time. It was just an example. like that. So everything, some behaviors and this and that, and then they just didn't feel right,
Yeah.
So it took me time. It took me time to integrate all of it, and but steady but surely, I left the law firm. My partners, they thought really I went mad, because I was a chairman. I had this huge position in a very profitable business, and no one could kick me out of it. I was a founder of this, and I have to step down. But I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I couldn't, be in the, court battles or draft agreements that should protect this or assume that. And it just was all illusory.
Yeah.
Illusionary, it looked to me and felt to me.
Didn't fit anymore with your new internal structure.
Yeah, with my understanding of the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did transition into having that experience and now being more a counselor or a spiritual guide? Because that's also not something you just step into. Can you tell me a little bit how that happened or how that process looked like?
It was just very natural. So I ran the first satsang, so I had my first client. There was always someone, I remember, I think it was a female. Some years ago, we had a huge party, and then suddenly she asked me, "Can I speak to you?" And we went to my study, and I just looked at her. I was quiet, and she burst into tears, started talking about her life.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started like that. And very often, I'm just quiet, and I say something, and people say, how could you know? It's in my heart, and so it's this level of understanding that the presence provides. It's not me, and this me that you would like to quote, the date of birth and achievements and education. It's not this. It's just the presence. And in presence, people feel very comforted. And so I can guide them. And I gave one tip to someone and then another tip to someone. And, for me, it's important that people follow this no guru approach that I promote. So they don't hang even on me or anyone else, any other teachings, which are beautiful, they're pleasurable to read and they can provide you with some help. But at the end, there is a guru in your heart. Mm-hmm. There is a goddess in your heart. And you can always return to your beautiful heart, keep quiet, and all the answers will be given.
Yeah. Yeah. Were there any specific teachers that guided you along this way, apart from the visitations in your dream?
Yes, of course. Big, very, very big, like another shift. So first I had with Wim, I had nothing. Wim is not a big spiritual teacher, but he teaches, breath work and cold exporter. And he is a huge promoter of love and peace in the world. And he does a lot of stuff selflessly. So he was my first shock. It was like electric shock when I met him. It would be 10 years ago probably, and then I, after watching and Papaji on YouTube, I realized his wife is still alive. It's Ganga. She lives in Portugal, so I went to her. She used to be my guru. And it was incredible how she looked into my heart, when I came to her, and she knew exactly everything about me. I felt, without much of speaking, and her presence. It was true grace to be around.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful last couple of weeks ago, it's still a summer, but you know, in August we had this first Freedom Festival at our Darkness Retreat, and we were sitting at satsang together with Ganga and doing this together, and it was magical moment for me. So this is what is happening. You know, your mind would never imagine. It's my mind, when I met her for the first time, couldn't comprehend, couldn't see this. In some years to come, I will be sitting and giving satsang next to my master, you know.
There's never this imposter syndrome, like this little voice saying to you, like, what are you doing? You're no teacher. You're no... Is it complete surrender to this new path? Or is there sometimes also this ego that sometimes pops up like...
No, it's just, of course, the ego comes up. You know, if I want to tell a joke, I need to use my ego, isn't it? I want to have an effect, you know. I want to laugh myself, and then I want to make others laugh. So definitely, but I can see it, I can smile to it. Yes, I hear the voice sometimes, and but I smile to it. You know, for me, it's so little, so unimportant. For me, sometimes I'm curious. It's not like, oh my God, but it's more curiosity, because some satsang I don't remember. I'm just there. I'm quiet, but I don't remember. And you know, today I don't have it. I lost my charger, but I had a Whoop. You know, Whoop is recording your sleep. So when I got it, and then the next week I went to Poland to run the retreat, I was giving satsang. You know, in the evening I look at my Whoop and they say, oh, well done, you had a nap during the day. I said, I had a nap? I would love to have a nap. I do have a nap.
Yeah.
And I look, and suddenly I look closer and I see it's the time when I had satsang.
Yeah.
And it showed that, you know, it reported like my brain waves were in a deep sleep.
Yeah.
Because you've got REM where you dream, but then you have SWS. These are theta brain waves, and they are only in a deep sleep. Typically, a human being has a 1 hour in a night, maybe up to 2 hours of a deep sleep. And I was 1 hour in the deep sleep during the day, in the morning, you know, long after I woke up. So I asked Chris, who does the digital stuff for us. I said, Chris, we have to do it next time. You have to record. We look. And again, next time it happened the same. So I don't remember everything what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So then out of curiosity, I would like to see the satsang afterwards, because I would like to see what was going on.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have also funny situations out of it, you know. So I had a guy from South Africa coming, and during the satsang, you know, so I'm sharing always. And first I'm quiet, I share what comes, and what comes is what people bring. Because satsang is, we all gather to experience the truth. It's not about Guru. Guru is just revealing the illusion. Mm. So, and then I ask people, do you want to share? And the guy is first, I want to share. You know what? You asked me in your, you know, before yesterday to prepare, you asked me to write something as a letter to myself. That's what we do in this Darkness Retreat. You know, when I was walking here, you know, I decided that I will not read for you the first part. I will only read the second part. The first part I will keep for myself, none of your business. And you just said that. I can show to everyone my notebook. How could you know what I wrote there? You said exactly what I wrote there.
Wow.
And I told him, listen, don't ask me this, and don't ask me what will be the numbers for Lotto on Saturday, because I don't know, you know.
That's a shame.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of story also about Ramana, that this happens when people visited him. I read the biography also of Ramdas. That would be what I would have called a guru. And he speaks about the same experiences. Just meeting him, sitting there, and he would express something that was going on or has happened or is going to happen that he doesn't understand in the moment, but then later he's like, oh wait, this. So it's impossible for me, for my mind, to grasp what that is. And you know, it's like a big question mark in my mind, but also not really. It's very strange, because if there's only the present moment, everything there is, it is now, it's here. And we all have access to the present moment and all the information, but we just don't believe maybe what we access or what happens. Or
no, it's because we are still unconscious, we don't perceive what's there. And you are unconscious when you are attached
to the stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is that, you know. So awakening is not difficult. Difficult is losing the attachment.
I mean, especially when you like your story. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, when you love your children,
life,
listen, when you love your children, or when you love your, you know, husband or your friend, or it's
why
so
would I let go of
difficult.
that? Yeah.
It's so difficult to lose that. It's so pleasurable. You have plans.
Yeah.
You have memories. But, you know, it cannot be staged or faked. Either you're ready to let go of it.
Yeah, complete surrender. I'm reading Daughter of Fire, about a 5-year apprenticeship of an English lady that goes to India to be with a Sufi teacher. She never goes into the room. She's only allowed to sit outside. Well, not never. Eventually also goes in, but the whole 5 years is her letting go of all of it. Who she is, why she's there. She doesn't understand why she's there. She just met him and just feels this urge to be there.
Yeah.
And it's very, I have deep respect, but it's a very deep level of commitment to want to know the truth, because that's the only thing she wants to know. Like, what is the truth?
Yeah.
Who am I? What are we? And it's,
you know, the
letting go
anyways
of all of it, like all of it, your whole life, all her money.
Yes.
She gives away. I mean, like, whew, it's not a path for money.
It is so interesting that you are saying that, because I just spoke, you know, last week I was running the Darkness Retreat, and someone was talking about awakening or enlightenment. For me, it's the same, it's just different word. And they asked me if it's always through self-realization, and it's not. So one can realize itself, and it's sudden. It's just to be ready or empty. Or you can awaken through the devotion.
Yeah.
And this is what you're explaining, and this is a very difficult path. Mm-hmm. You have to be absolutely devoted to your guru or to your God, to whatever there is. There is nothing but this. Yeah. And eventually you can awaken. And the third way is the service.
Yeah.
So if you are of service to others,
yeah,
it can also lead to liberation.
And is your desire to do the darkness retreats also your acts of service?
Not necessary, you know. In human, you know, experience, you know, first we do things that we have to, see. I'm going to school because I have to. I'm getting a job because I have to, because I have to pay my bills. And then I'm meeting these people because I have to get promoted, or I have to meet these people because I have to do my business. And it's all about have to. But then when they have a little bit of more consciousness in their life, the glimpse of stillness, they don't do it anymore. They start doing what feels right for them. So they change career, They start their business. They don't do what they have to. They do what is passionate, what they're passionate about, you know. But it's still about them, you know. It's what's passionate with me, what feels good for me. It's my energy, not my energy, my this and this. It's a lot of mind, it's a lot of mental structures, but there is already no I have to. It's a little bit I have to in the life. But it comes a moments when you wake and you do things that needs to be done. And there is no I have to, or it's not me in this. It's all blended in because, you know, for me, I'm of service to myself and all the others at any time. So whatever I do shall be of service to myself and to everyone. Mm-hmm. And then it's so simple.
I think it's very beautiful to find ways of being that serve yourself and also the greater good, because we are all the same and connected. And if you really hone in on that, that's where I think so much magic happens, because you see yourself as part of the bigger picture, of the collective. Yeah, I think that's beautiful. Wow, we're already like 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
Did you realize? I was just on page 1. I have 4 pages of questions. No.
We're short.
No, but I really want
Just keep 1 page.
I really also want to dive deep a little bit in the experience of the darkness. Because frankly, when I tell people I went on a darkness retreat, the number 1 reaction is, what? And the second reaction is, are you crazy? Why? Like, so how does a retreat... No, first, how does a typical day in the dark look like? People ask me, do you know if it's day or night, for example?
Yeah, so I mean, after 24 hours, you lose track of time. The only thing you know is probably a day and midday because they bring you food and the counselor is coming. But other than that, you don't know. And how does it look like? I don't know. You know, it looks different from different people, for different people. You know, last time I was in the darkness, I was locked in samadhi type of state. So I was there in complete bliss. But I also did human things. I danced. I did push-ups.
Really?
Yeah, I did some.
They told me, do as less as possible. Yeah. Don't do push-ups, don't do exercises.
So, you know, I did lots of stuff. I was for longer stay than lately, I mean. But, you know, so people do different things. Some sing.
I see.
You know, some yeah, you sang?
Yeah.
Yeah. So some draw, you know. It doesn't matter, you know, as long as you allow yourself for not doing anything. All of this doing that I'm saying, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you go to the darkness and you do your, you know, yoga all the time and, you know, that is just useless, yes. Mm. That's waste of time, sort of. It's beautiful to be in the darkness and see what the mind is when you don't do anything, when no one watches.
Well, I know what my mind does. It sings a lot of songs to a point that it gets annoying, because I wanted to experience stillness. And then the mind, I mean, I'm not complaining that my mind is very happy. My mind is a happy place. But I was singing a lot. And at some point, I just joined in, like, okay, now I'm gonna sing. But it's like you said, you really got the chance to witness the mind and see where it goes.
Yeah.
And see that it's just a story that you're. At some point, I was sitting like, okay, I'm sitting here. I'm safe. I'm warm. I have tea. I'm not hungry. I'm just in this perfect moment. And then my mind would at some point, oh, what is he doing? What is she doing? Like, hang on, no, I'm here. So, and can I do less? Think less. Yeah, I can do less. I can just sit here and just be still.
Some people come out with extreme, sharpness, they might. They really concentrate better at their work. That's what they report to me. They sleep better. It somehow increases, you see, the level of their resilience towards adversities of life. Because when they see in the darkness, they can experience this, I'm sitting there, everything is fine, but I hear narrative, this and that, and maybe, and why, oh, it's so boring, it's so boring. It's just some kind of voice in their head. And recognize that this is just a voice. This is a path to liberation. Because next time they cancel your plane, you say, oh no, oh my God, what the fuck is this and Lufthansa and that. What will I do? They do it. And it's like so nosy, so horrible. It's painful. This mental narrative is painful. It can make you a headache. And next time you get your plane canceled, and you say, all right, okay, it's canceled. You don't pretend you're happy. Of course you're not happy. But from that moment, you are in another moment, and either you wait because they rebook you or you go to your hotel. And I instantly say, wow, I have so much time. Wow, I will do this and I will do that. And I'm sitting there, I just be quiet. And people say, why are you not mad? They're so unprofessional, and they start judging airlines and this and that. Yeah. But I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it. So when you are in darkness, you can experience, I can't do anything about it. And I am still
at peace.
At peace.
Yeah.
And if I am not at peace completely, I am. It's nothing happening. Because the mind wants to tell us the story that something is happening, that we are not doing anything. That there is something out there. Because the mind is fearful. It's a big coward, It's always afraid.
I mean, that's what its function is, to scan the environment and yourself.
Yes,
to see, it's a survival mechanism.
It's, for me, our brain, which produces thoughts, and the bundle of thoughts, it's a mind, is the highest, achievement of our evolutionary process. That's why we are where we are, because we have this.
To make plans, organize, we manipulate.
Many people become slaves to this, It goes by its own, but it's enough when it's observed. Yeah. Then you regain your power, and what I call it, you regain resilience towards adversities of life.
I have a funny anecdote about that that happened yesterday, because of course I knew you were coming, and you're in my living room, and of course when you have guests, you want to have it very cleaned.
Yes.
So yesterday, after a whole day of cleaning, at the end of the day, I did something, and right behind you, a plant fell on the couch, on the floor. There was a big mess. And I was just finished. It was 7 p.m. I just wanted to have dinner and okay, now I can relax. And sand and gravel everywhere on the couch and on the floor. And I was actually funny to experience that there was no frustration.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Not even wow, I'm very calm. Oh, yeah, okay. There's this initial,
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, it's not cool. Not cool at all.
I wanted to make dinner and then relax a little bit, not spend half an hour cleaning again. But I think this is, of course, a very small example of a very trivial thing. But it's this resilience that you're talking about. Something happens, you witness it, and then you just accept it. Yeah. And what am I? I mean, I can be angry. I know some people that would have gone crazy, that would have exploded, oh no.
Yeah, and call to friends, you know.
Yeah.
You don't know what has happened.
Yeah.
More age is coming, and now this.
And I spent 5 hours cleaning, and now I can start all over again. But yeah, it makes life a lot more peaceful, more happy. Even though, you know, it happens all the time. Every day something happens, or every week.
It's about a satisfaction, you see.
Yeah.
You know, we can really enjoy this incarnation. It's very short.
Yeah.
It's actually very short. When you look back, you know.
You said enjoyment. It was kind of a laughable moment, like, you know, observing what happens and then observing the reaction. Like, of course this happens. Why not? Why not? Well, let's just take it.
Absolutely.
So the day in the dark, I can tell a little bit also for the listeners, like how my day went.
Yes.
Of course, like you said, for everyone it's different.
I only know that you had this moment of what am I doing here? But what exactly did you? I heard you were singing.
Yeah, well, like you said, you know, when the food comes, it's daytime. So that's kind of this measure of time that you have. And I thought I had quite a good sense. I don't know if you can sense it in the electromagnetic field or whatever it is, but you feel that you know when it's day or night. I thought that I felt, but judging by the jet lag I had when I came out, because I had a severe jet lag, and I had no idea if it was day or night. So I slept a lot, especially the first 2 days. And I think that's very common because you have very busy lives and very full minds. And it's also like tired bodies. And then, you know, your body gets a chance to really relax and sleep. So I think I did a lot of like short naps, and then I would wake up and then I would sit. And for example, I would wake up in what I would think was like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'll wake up and take a shower, brush my teeth, sit for a while, and then sit some longer, like, let's take a little nap again, because
Why not?
Yeah, why not? And then again, wake up. And I'm like, wow, I'm sitting for a long time. Maybe they forgot about me. This is now maybe 5 o'clock in the evening. There's still no food. I don't know. This is taking very long. And then the food came. I'm like, oh, so now it's okay. And it's just a lot of sitting and just being. And I done some stillness retreat and meditation retreat. So you have some prompts that you can say to yourself to help you find the stillness. So I would use that, and also the self-inquiry. So you would do that. But then there's these songs in your head that keeps popping up. And then at some point, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to sing a little bit. But it was just very tranquil, just very calm. Apart from the nothing is happening, which is kind of like a disappointment. Not really like I was frustrated or angry, just a little bit disappointing.
Bored.
No, not even bored. No, that was okay.
So you had no visuals in the darkness?
The last night I had a... That's really funny, I'm going to tell this. So before I have quite some experience with psychedelics and also with psychedelic visions. And of course I know about DMT. It's like the natural body ways of giving you a psychedelic experience. And I know, like, if you deprive a person for at least 24 hours, natural DMT will be made. And before going in, 2 guys, they were talking about the experience. They were so like hyped up and shouted, oh, how awesome, you're going to do this, you have a life-changing experience. So I was expecting like this big DMT experience, like this ayahuasca-like experience, and nothing. And even on day 3, I'm like, still not here. I don't know. It was 24 hours, right? Why is it not here? I'm like, at some point I thought, you know, they probably put something in our food to make sure that everyone has a psychedelic experience. I was convinced that this was going to happen. Yeah, for real. And then the last food.
No mushroom cake.
Listen, the last food came, and she said to me, listen, there's something very special in you should probably have that first. I'm like, this is it. This is where they put it in.
So cool.
It was a milkshake. From the next day you get and it was cold, so drink it first. And it was a beautiful milkshake. All the food was just gorgeous. I'm like, this is it. I'm just going to sit now. It's going to take 20 minutes, maybe an hour, and then I will have my psychedelic experience. And of course, nothing happened. But I laughed so hard about myself, like craving this big epiphany of an experience. And one of the realizations was, these big epiphanies, these aha moments, these life-changing moments. We are all love. We are all one. Once you've had them,
you don't need it.
Then you don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
And the lessons sometimes become more nuanced, or smaller, more subtle, not less profound, but subtle. And for me, the lesson was: can you really sit with what is?
Yeah, without your desires.
And I had my DMT experience. I'm not this last night. It was but it wasn't even what was so special about it. It was just something that also happened, and it was fun. It was enjoyable. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
And it was, but not like, ooh, I had a vision and now this is what I came for. It's not the most important lesson or insight I took from me. It was a beautiful trip. I had 4 trips in a row.
Super cool.
On a rendering level. Like sometimes you have a vision or a dream and you just have like flashes going back and forth and it's not coherent. But it's a mumbo jumble of like a dream.
Yeah.
This was one scene, very clear, very high rendering, like all the details. It was like I was watching 5K television.
Yeah.
And it had a beginning, it had a middle section, it had an end, it had a timeline, and it was so clear and vivid. And then at some point I woke up, I got hungry, I went to the toilet, went back. And then once my breathing was in order, because when I lay down, at first it was like this, and then my breathing slowed down. I was back in it.
Wow, beautiful.
Very, I don't know. And I had that 4 times.
Cool.
4 different stories. But still not as profound as can you sit with what is?
Yeah.
Can you truly, truly accept what is in this moment now?
You know what?
Compassion.
You know what they say, Janet? They say that darkness will always give you what you're ready for, and it will reveal according to your own consciousness.
Mm.
This is incredible, and when I speak to you, I just feel it. Mm. It is always there to see. Your experience is beautiful. I hear so many stories, and typically the darkness experience, I must say, is surprising to people. But the most important, it's safe. Yeah. I must say it's very safe. We have very trained, retreat counselors. They are, experienced, seasoned darkness practitioners. Most of them, like the one you had, they are also clinical psychologists. Yeah. So they can hold the space. And I think it's more scary from the outside than it really is. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. It wasn't, people ask me all the time, but it was not 1 second scary. And what I really liked about the counselor, she said when she came in, when she brought the food, she explained also beforehand, I'm going to sit with you for a while in silence on the other side of the door. Just to be present with you, just to hold space, literally. I don't know how long it lasted, but that was really a sweet moment, like a really beautiful moment. And so how does a day look like? I mean, you wake up, you clothe, you sit, you eat. Eating was incredible because you get 6, 7, 8 containers. You feel, what is there. You don't know wraps, pasta, rice, fruit. Oh my God, fruit. My head exploded, you know? Ugh, watermelon, grapes, all of it. So delicious. And you would eat until you were full, not until the plate needs to be emptied or...
Yes.
That I have a challenging relationship with food, and to be able to really eat without the visual stimuli or the stories you have about finishing a plate or what you should eat first. Or
so many of us have these stories. You
Yeah.
know, what you should eat first, or that the plate has to be finished, or
Yeah.
this mixed with this and not that. You know,
and now
that is mental structure.
like all mixed. Like you could just really
And you know,
intuitively
no one
eat.
sees this. you
No,
know. No one sees this.
Yeah.
You know.
that was nice. And then you know you sit some more. I mean, there's nothing but there's no hiding. But it was never, I was never afraid. And that's also how the cabins are constructed, because there's a little portal before you go in. And there's they teach you. I'm not explaining it to you, but to the listeners.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, you designed it. So, but for the ones
It's
listening.
Kinga who designed it with the architects. Yes, yes.
But
I
this-
just explained my challenges in the darkness to them when I was in the other darkness retreat. And according to that, they drew what I wanted to achieve there.
Yeah.
I'm not that skilled, you know.
I mean, there's other people that do that. So the portal, she explained, there's an emergency button, there's a communications button, there's people's insecurity, that if you really get lost, scared, panic, you can always go out. You can always open it from the inside out, not from the outside in. No one can come in. You're very safe. There's a button. There's always someone to respond if you want. Your phone is outside, plugged in the electricity, so that something happens, you can always call someone. You can call who you want to feel safe. And that felt nice. And I was like, oh, I don't need that. But of course, at some point, it feels good to have this like backup.
Yeah.
There was a point I wanted to go out because I was in a very complex dynamic with someone. And at some point, I think the second night, there was this text, this message I wanted to record for him.
Yeah.
And I just the message kept repeating, like imprinting, don't forget this sentence, and this is what you want to say, and this is what, and then like, you know what, I need pen and paper, I need to write it down so that I can let it go. Yeah. And I knew, oh shit, my journal is outside, is in the, because I thought like, who's going to journal in the dark? You cannot journal in the dark. But then I realized I had a different notebook in my suitcase.
And you wrote in this?
And I wrote in the dark.
Wonderful. And
it's actually very readable. You put your finger and then you go down a piece. I wrote a letter, put it aside. And one other experience that is maybe nice to share also. On the third day, because if you go to a retreat or a training, coaching, people tend to focus, and also myself, I've been going like on these journeys for 10 years now. You focus on the traumas, the wrongdoings, the frustration, because, you know, there's stuff to be healed.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And they tell us from all over, you know, it's healing to be done, it's sacred place, and it's healing this, healing.
Yeah.
They really imprint us, you know.
Yeah.
We have to heal. I am not well, I have to heal.
And you focus in on all those experiences, and we all have them, because we're all just humans living this life with the ups and downs. And at some point, it was about eating and food and my parents, and I'm like, oh, I think they didn't say they loved me enough. And what happened afterwards, and this is all the mind making this up, right? There's no one prompting me or telling me, or this is an exercise that you should do. My mind zoomed into all the nice interactions, like, oh, as a child, I like this topic in school, I like to do this. Oh, I had this beautiful birthday party, I had this hobby, I had this friendship, I had this, all the beautiful memory, just one after the other, memories I forgot about for a long time. Like, let's just focus in on the beauty in your life and not just what needs to be healed.
Right.
And on the back of my mind, there was this loop like, I love you. I love you.
Wow,
I love you.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I'm happy for you.
It was beautiful. I'm like, wow, why is this not part of a healing retreat? Like looking at all the beautiful stuff in your life, and of course I realize, it's good to relieve emotions and to have another perspective on some traumas that will help you. But also just looking at the beauty of life.
You're very advanced, not some people, especially, people who went through, plant medicine, they have a lot of trauma removed. They get some insight that they know that this trauma they're in the past and they just go on. And you are very fortunate because you are spiritually advanced.
Oh, my ego loves this that you say that. Like, woohoo! I'm what? Say again? No.
But, it's about this spiral. Some people go into this spiral of the mind. And mind would always love to talk about the past, and not the more traumatic, that my trauma is bigger than yours, and I really suffered more than you. It's this sense of righteousness. People think that the ego and someone with a big ego is saying, I'm the greatest, I'm big, I did this in the past, and I won, and this and that, like one president in one country, he always
we'll both name names.
Will make everything great, and he's great, and the nation is great. But my experience as a spiritual teacher is that ego much more loves to be in a deeper hole. The trauma is worse. My life is so horrible, and my past is so horrible, and my childhood experience. But it's just a sense of righteousness. It's something which should divide us. Because my story is always different than yours, and you don't understand. Ego always will seek the sense of separation from others. Because when you talk about what you said, pleasurable things, beautiful things, if you are of service to elderly, let's say, and if you were of service at the elderly when you were 14, if you hear the others, you don't compare. You say, wow, wonderful, we're the same, If you like to sing and someone else likes to sing, wow, let's do it together, If I play, we play, and then. So it is beautiful to experience that. You were very, very fortunate that you were able to, even though you were going to the past, you were able to see the really positive things that worked in your life, to bring them back in the present moment.
Yeah. And it's a guiding perspective that I cultivate also before the darkness, because I truly, truly believe, and also what the mission for Yugen Forest is, a person can look at the world and see only destruction, hurt, war, blood, fear, all of it. It's nasty. If you looked at the world now, you could feel very depressed and anxious. We're fucked up as a species at this moment. But at the same time, at the same moment, with the same eyes, you can also look at, wow, look at those birds and the trees and all the beautiful people and all the... It's just a matter of perspective. What glasses do you put on and what do you want to see? What do you want to focus on? There's a shift and it's going on at the same time. So why not look at, without being ignorant, I mean, you don't have to deny that there's hurt. But there's no use in just clinging to that and only seeing that. I mean, you would deprive yourself of so much of not seeing the beauty. And I hope that's what people experience also when they come to Yugen, that they see, oh, there's a beautiful flower. And look at that butterfly, oh, look at that cloud. That they also see that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I took a picture of your beautiful flower. The moment I came in here, I went into the garden. I instantly took a picture. You have such so beautiful flowers. But you know what it is, ignorance? You have to be deeply ignorant.
To see the beauty?
No, not to see the development of human consciousness. Not to see what a wonderful world we live in. You have to be deep. I don't want to say dumb or silly, because that's what I want trying to say in a nice, politically correct way. Because you as a woman, 1,000 years ago, in all these women saying that we are in the world, horrible world living, should just think for a second. 1,000 years ago, you were not allowed to read. You were not allowed to vote. You could be even killed if you were in not caste or level of society by your master.
Yeah.
Today, you can grow, you can work, you can lead people, you can do wonderful things like you do at Yugen Forest. You can hold the space for other people to heal. How beautiful is that?
Exactly. Yeah.
How incredible, you see? And this is true ignorance, not to see where we can.
Ignorance, that's negative.
It's not negative. Would you say that if your dog cannot count, or maybe he can, but he cannot tell us that he can count, how much is 15 times 12, that the dog is ignorant or not?
Oh.
He doesn't know.
Yeah.
That's the ignorance. Ignorance is lack of knowledge. You see? Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying that this is positive or negative, but it has to be seen as it is.
Yeah, but you can even know about it and still not make that your main narrative.
Yeah, you see, if you know about it, I mean, if my dog knew, you know what I'm talking about? He doesn't. Understand? He doesn't. I love my dog. Both of them. They're amazing. But human intelligence allows us to know and to understand. So there is a knowledge and wisdom. And we can connect things. So the knowledge is, according to what we call knowledge, we know that the tomato is a fruit. And the wisdom is that we don't put tomato into fruit salad, isn't it? Okay? Mm-hmm. So we connect those two. And this is called intelligence. Mm-hmm. Someone is intelligent and someone is wise. Okay? Intelligence stems from the typical mind, and wisdom very often through life experience. Mm-hmm. So you see things as they are. You see that today, if I'm not saying that I don't know Jesus Christ, no one will burn me. And I'm saying it out loud. Actually, I know. But this is an example. No one will burn me. No one will stone me. If I call to married women or married men, no one will put the stones on me. You see? Then I can see, wow, I can see the beauty. So what I'm trying to say is this opening of the place of knowing, which is accessible to you if you see without narrative, without telling story about what you see, which is stemming from the mind, because mind wants to be separated. If you would say, instead of we live in crazy, horrible world, we live in wonderful world. And I truly love Donald. Ooh, that would take so much narrative from your mind, that you would reclaim power. Every saint has his past. And every sinner has a future. Even there is no sin. That's what they say in the church, Catholic Church, which I really love. I don't love Catholic churches, any churches, but I really love that. What does it mean? Anyone can awaken. I will look only in the present moment. And I'm being hurt? No. And I'm being a terror? No. Is there some terror in the world? Yes, there is. Is there more terror or less terror? There is a less terror. Is there more education or less education? It's much more education. Is more healthcare or less healthcare? It's more safety or less? More. Okay, I think we're doing something good. I think we are living in the wonderful world where there are some people who haven't noticed this yet. So it shifts everything. It shifts everything. But of course, for the mind, for the ego, it means death. Ego will never allow for that. Because if I stop criticizing, I cannot complain anymore, I don't criticize you. I allow you to live according to your own truth. Then I cannot complain. And then ego cannot feed on this energy. It's not me and them. Implying me, the good one, and them, oh. No. Be like Donald, like anyone, any other Donald. You see? Do we agree with every action of him? No. But we know he can awaken at any time. That's the beauty of it.
In the books, The Conversations with God, there's this big topic that keeps coming back when, is this book written by someone who is complaining about the world, his life, and he writes a letter to God in his notepad. And then he finds himself writing more, what's not coming from his mind, but like who's saying it's God's answer.
Oh, really?
So he starts a conversation.
Is this a movie or is it a book?
It's a book.
Okay.
Maybe there's also a movie. And it's 3 books written in 8 years with him asking questions. And
wow, cool.
It's of all the books I read, that's a very profound one, because it ties in so much of other books, but also own experiences. It's really, really, really amazing. But one of the topics that comes back a lot, like, is Hitler in heaven? Because God said there's no heaven. And there's also no hell.
Of course.
So, no, Hitler's not in hell because there is no hell. But he's basically in heaven because he's not being punished. No one is being punished. There's also no one judging. Which is, of course, incomprehensible to the right. He's like, huh? But there's a judging God, right? And he decides where to go.
Mind cannot comprehend that. Because for the mind, it's always this and that, good and bad.
Exactly.
But there is someone watching. It's this presence, which is no good or bad there.
But there's both in it.
Yeah, I mean...
What he explains, and he does it very beautifully, is that if we are all one, we are all God, we are all consciousness, we cannot experience ourselves because we are one. And the Godness, the consciousness, if you want to experience yourself, there has to be a separation, because otherwise... So and that's where good and bad and high and low and black and white comes from. It's because in the polarities, you can experience. So why are we here? Because God wanted to experience himself. So we are all like parts of him or her, doesn't matter. It, bliss, love.
I'm sure it was her, not him.
I'm pretty sure. But in this this duality is needed to experience, because otherwise it's only one and there's no experience in it.
Beautiful, beautiful what you're saying. I mean, for the mind, it's really hard to comprehend the fact that maybe there is no reason. I often hear people saying it happened for a reason, because for them it's so hard to digest that some for what they going through is without any reason. And the reason that they want. Because what they mean by reason is that there has to happen something good out of it. Because it is duality, good and bad. And it's just sign of unconsciousness. It is beautiful. I love to hear that. Oh, it happened for reasons. I always say yes, why not? But it is really beautiful. And that's what I encourage you and everyone else who maybe listen to this, to sit and experience what is without any reasons.
Mm.
And even without any understanding. And without any narrative over not understanding.
Or expectations.
Oh, this for sure.
Wow. So these darkness retreats, you do it in Poland?
In Poland, we build a prototype. It will be just five cabins. Next month, we start another 5. So in spring next year, we'll have 10 cabins. And now we'll build more, within darkness retreats in the world. That's why I am here in Netherlands. I hope we'll build one in, not so far from airport in Amsterdam. We want to bring it to the place where there are big agglomerations. I believe people suffer. They are overstimulated, over-informed even.
For sure.
And they are constantly hammered and pushed. And it doesn't matter where, 10 or 20 years ago or 30 years ago, they were telling us that we have to do this and that and work and career and car and house and American dream and whatnot and jewelry. Today they tell us that we have to meditate more, that we have to exercise more, eat better, this and that, higher version of yourself, consciousness, manifestation, breathing. It's always something out there what we have to do that we haven't done. And it's just exhausting, you see. Those that I'm sending love every day and pray for them, I call them so-called, fake prophets. They always tell you, do something, follow me, and this method will lead you to salvation of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And there is the path with no guru, no teacher, no teaching, no student. Just keep quiet and ask yourself, who am I? And that's what I promote. That's what we'll build. So I always openly ask anyone who wants to help with that, who wants to bring more consciousness in the world, who want to join us with the clinical trials that we do. We started with SWPS, Polish University, but also University of Zurich and Harvard University professor. The clinical trials we would like to prove now. I mean, I would like to prove, but they are just studying. They are very skeptical as scientists, but there is a lot of hope, they say, that would be incredible if those clinical trials went well. For now, there is a lot of good signs that we will be able to treat through the darkness therapy, burnout, group of depressive disorders, and anxiety disorders. Imagine that, 5-10 years from now in Holland or in Germany, someone will come to the doctor, will have definitely, symptoms of depression or burnout, and they will prescribe, because it will be proven, scientifically proven, clinical method, the darkness therapy, 6 days retreat with 3 days in the darkness, assisted by psychologists.
Yeah.
And I see people, they're getting better when they go out of our retreat. Why? Again, because the resilience towards adversities of life increases. So next time when they get an impolite comment from their beloved or from their boss, next time when they lose their job, they don't crack and say, oh my God, they called 1,000 people. They're not happy. Maybe they're upset, but just for a while, it's okay. It's just a thought. And now I am, here I am. And from that place, they start and move on.
Yeah.
If they are so fortunate as yourself, that they can say to themselves, I love you. If they are so fortunate as many others that they were with us in the dark side, they understood what love is. They could accept themselves as they are. Whoa, this is a big thing because they can move on much faster. They don't have to repeat about what he did and what she did and how unfair is that and this and that and how scary is the future because most probably we are going to have a nuclear war. Maybe, but maybe not. What we have and what we know for sure, it is this, the present moment. And from this, we can act. That's why we do act. We build darkness retreats to the benefits for us, because we want to be of service to us and everyone else. Everyone will be able to get into it.
And we didn't even touch upon what happens before and after in the sense of the preparation and what goes on after. You said 6 days, 3 days in the darkness. So what do you do? What do people do the other days?
Yeah, so 3 days you are in the darkness. First 2 days you prepare. You know, you go into you have your first night in the cabin.
So you sleep in the same cabin.
Yes.
That is also the darkness cabin.
Yes, yes. We believe you have to build neural connections to have this as a safe space. In my view, it doesn't matter how many features are there, safety features. You know, our cabins are very safe. You can always turn on the light. You can always leave. But if you don't train it, if you don't test it, if it's not your own experience, it's just a knowledge. But the mind is very sneaky. Once you are in the darkness, the mind will start questioning it. Can I really go out? Can I really turn on the light? And if either you torture yourself because you don't know, it's just something that they told you, or you break your experience, and then you are disappointed. So we say, no. We want our participants to learn that phase first, and then we want them to have their own experience of the short experience of the darkness, 2-3 hours, and then we adjust. We do it gradually. Moreover, they need to get off their phone. They are in the group. There are 5-10 perfect strangers, you know, people coming from different countries in the world. From what countries were people when you were on the retreat?
One German, half Polish. A girl from Norwegian, I think. And the guy that's still in it. The 84 days?
Yeah, no, 49. He left after 31 days. He was Lebanese living in Germany. Yeah.
Okay.
Lebanese. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
he's out?
Yeah, he's out already. He's out. He just texted.
Because I've been waiting for the satsang because I was really...
Yeah, he's already out.
32 days in darkness.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh, Jesus.
Yes. So you prepare. First 2 days you prepare, and then you've got your darkness experience for 3 days, and then you integrate. And you know, you prepare in the group and you integrate in the group. And I think the miraculous, you know, self-help, you know, group self-help energy cannot be overseen here. Because, you know, only the person who was in the darkness understands the other person who was in the darkness. You cannot explain what color red is to the blind person that has never seen it from childhood. It's not possible. It will be just a word. And the same, you know, when we speak about darkness, when we speak about being bored or just sit there or have a vision, you know, I'm excited because, you know, I've done this. You know, I know how it feels. And this sense of being in the group, you know, that, you know, you're not alone. There are others doing this for the same first time or, you know, at least at the same time. And when you go out, you have someone to share. No one will judge you, you know, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, and there were some nice rituals, the sound journey.
Yeah, sound healing.
Sound healing when we came out. Before we went in, a little ice bath and breath work just to prepare ourselves. I think the journaling exercises that were there, I think it was a very well designed program.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And also the cabins. I keep telling people, they were so beautiful. And they're like, yeah, but it's dark. You don't see anything. He said, yeah, but you're there the first night and the last night. So you...
Yeah, you see them.
And
see them.
It feels very luxurious.
Thank you.
Very safe and well designed. And yeah, it's just... I think, yeah, if people go to your website, there's a beautiful video that people can see the cabin, how it looks like before. And there's a lot of testimonials on your website.
Yes.
That I could encourage people to have a look at. Or don't, and just go as I do with only one story.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, if they hear my story, they will probably will be a little bit different because I'm not like, because Sebastian was like, whoa.
Yeah, Sepp was really flying high. Yeah. I call him Prem, you know, Prem means love.
Yeah.
He dwells and he swam in love. It was so beautiful journey. Yeah. But all of them, yours was really unique. You know, if you really look into your heart, you know, without saying anything to anyone, you know that something shifted in you. And very often, we don't appreciate at the moment when things happen. Mm. We see it sometimes. There needs to be weeks or months or sometimes years.
Yeah.
You know, today I told you about my experience. I met Wim, you know, those just 2 sentences. But something shifted in me. That you can give something for free. You can, you know, teach for free. You know.
And you're like, what?
And I was like, what? Teach for free? No, that's possible. I'm crazy. And now I know it's not crazy. The other way is crazy. Of course, everyone has to pay its bills, but you don't have to do everything for money. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, we had a long conversation about yoga and about the vision that we have about money and the financial.
I love that. I mean, I think, you know, Eugen Forest is a very unique place. You know, when I look at the map of Europe or even the map of the world, we travel a lot, and it's a very unique concept. And it requires a lot of people, a lot of supporters, a lot of goodwill, and a lot of resilience. You see, you said, oh, magically always, you know, we got money and this and that, or someone helped. You know, it's not a magically. It's nothing about magic. One has to awaken to the simple fact that if you are acting with integrity, when you act from the place of presence, it is so attractive. The things that should be your experience will be your experience. Saying in how Irish would say, if something is yours, you can't fuck it up. And if something is not yours, doesn't matter how long and how much you try, you will not get it.
Mm. I didn't know that saying. That's a nice one. that will keep me going for a while. Well, thank you also for your kind words about Eugen. It's still early, but I think people should be on the lookout for a possible collaboration. But that will be a nice teaser for the ones listening.
Yeah, it's a wonderful place. I mean, keep on going.
Thank you.
You got my support.
Means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, if people want to know more, of course, I'm going to put the link also in the descriptions. But where can they look? Where can they find you?
We are active on Instagram, and we have our own website. And this is within the Ultimate Darkness Retreat.
Yeah, and it's I would 10 out of 10 recommend if you ask me.
Thank you very much. You're very kind.
All right. Thank you for for your time. And also, listeners, thank you for your time and attention. Feel free also to subscribe or leave us a comment or a little note. And I hope you will tune back in for a next episode. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.